Coming up, we have Terry McDougall, who's actually the inspiration behind the title of this. She really introduced the idea of professional success and personal happiness and how they coincide, how they interact, and can we achieve both? We absolutely can achieve both if we work towards it. So Terry McDougall is an executive coach who works with people she says are successful but not satisfied. And she works with them one-on-one. She's also a keynote speaker, has spoke to Fortune 500 companies, just an amazing speaker, amazing writer as well. She has a best-selling book, Winning the Game of Work, which you can find on Amazon. And she also has a great podcast, Marketing Mambo. There's so much to check out with Terry McDougall. She's such a hard worker, and let's see what she has to say.
Terry McDougall, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. First of all, I want to thank Jake for putting this all together, and I agree with him that the four of us have a lot of overlap and connection. So I hope that you find that my topic here is a logical next step from what Jake presented. So I'm here to talk about the 5 big lies that hold you back and how to overcome them. As an executive coach, I often speak to people that have big dreams and they want to pursue them, but they really haven't started yet. And a lot of times it's because they're maybe are telling themselves things that just aren't true. So they'll come to me in hopes of finding support because they find it hard to get started on their own. They may feel frustrated and stuck, and they may not be sure what to do about it. But what I found is that deep down inside, we know exactly who we are, and we also know what will make us happy. Actually, kind of what Jake was talking about with like, what does success mean to you? When we really stop and take that time, that can rise up and we can get clear on what our goals are. But sometimes, for whatever reason, we can be afraid to give into our desires. We may be afraid of disappointment. And what I try to do is help people to peel back the layers and uncover and reframe their fears so they don't seem so insurmountable. So, what I'm here to talk about is 5 common excuses that can prevent people from pursuing paths that will make them happier. And maybe you've encountered one or more of what I call the 5 big lies. So if you're tired of being held back from what you'd like to experience in your life and your career, let's break these lies down so that you can more easily conquer them and start moving towards those things that are going to help you be happier and more successful. So big lie number 1 is I have to take a big leap. And it's really natural to feel like making change in your life. It can feel like a big, scary leap. But if you're the one that decides how big the leap is, or if it's a leap at all, it's really up to you. When I first started my business, I was frozen at times because I told myself that I'd have to take the big plunge like an Acapulco cliff diver. But a wise friend pointed out that I could start in the baby end of the pool if I wanted to, and that mental reframing made all the difference for me. It really helped me to progress at a pace that I was comfortable with, and it allowed me to gain confidence without feeling panicky. Before I knew it, like a kid learning to swim, I was jumping into the deep end and really had a lot of energy and joy in my business. Now, had I held on to that original big lie that a swan dive off a craggy cliff was the only way for me to get started in my business, I'd probably still be huddled under the covers, biting my fingernails down to the quick. But Jake has advanced the slide here to the real deal. No, Jake, go back one. Thanks. The straight dope is just take a small action in the direction of your goal. As the old adage goes, a trip of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. So what's one little baby step that you can take today? Okay, you can advance it now, Jake. So, big lie number 2, I'm not ready. Ah. Now, the interesting thing about this statement is that no one actually ever says it unless there's at least some expectation of action. And if you expect something, part of you wants it. So, when you say you're not ready, that's actually your fear talking. To address this in a positive way, ask yourself, what's the smallest action that I can take that's impossible to fail at? Much like big lie number 1, you're 100% in control of the action you decide to take and when you decide to take it. It can be as small as deciding that, yes, I'm ready to take one small action. Once you have even a little bit of momentum, the next step becomes that much easier. So, the straight dope on line number 2 is that the first step could be as simple as doing a Google search, making a phone call, or having a conversation with someone who can provide you some insights. These are all legitimate first steps towards your goal. And if you find yourself hesitating, use the Mel Robbins 5-second rule. So count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, and then act. This technique helps you get started before your consciousness can resist. She actually has a great TED talk on this technique, so it might be worth looking it up. So, big lie number 3, Jake, if you can advance the slide. The big lie number 3 is that this decision is do or die. This can be a showstopper. Perhaps you don't act because you think the result must be perfect or the impact must be huge. This is like a baseball player that steps to the plate and expects to hit a home run every time. An expectation like that leads to performance anxiety and can decrease the likelihood of anything productive happening. Now, if you detach yourself from the outcome and focus instead on taking action, you can try something different each time and then you can figure out what works. This approach can even be fun. You may find yourself approaching your tasks with curiosity and wondering, I wonder what's going to happen next. So, the straight dope on line number 3 is just try stuff and be kind to yourself. Give yourself credit for being brave and notice what parts work and what you want to change next time. Keep up your activity, and before you know it, you'll be getting on base and maybe even hitting an occasional home run. Consistent small steps will get you closer to your goal than expecting dramatic surges forward and putting that pressure on yourself to expect that you're going to make that happen every time. Okay, so big lie number 5. Nobody will take me seriously. Often, when you decide to do something different, you may worry that others won't take you seriously. I mean, this is kind of what a lot of people refer to as the imposter syndrome. And when we have these thoughts, remember that confidence is contagious. When you have confidence in yourself, others tend to have confidence in you as well. If you doubt yourself, others can pick up on that and they may doubt you as well. Occasionally, you may encounter somebody who rains on your parade, but that's all about them. Your boldness may actually trigger envy or fear in them, and then they project that onto you so they don't have to deal with their own emotions. When you decide to make a change, do your best to be around supportive, like minded people who bolster you rather than undermine you. So, the real deal or the straight dope on this is that, as I was saying, a saying that I know is very relevant to the situation, and it is what other people think of you is none of your business. Because the reality is, we never really know what other people think. And if we can focus on what we want and what we need to do to make it happen, our energy goes in a positive direction and it's not siphoned off by worry and fear. So support yourself in the same way that you'd support a friend or loved one who's trying something new and scary. And if things don't go according to plan, recognize it's just all part of your journey. You're going to learn. Um, You'll learn a lesson and it's going to make you more effective in the future. So give yourself some grace and just keep moving forward. And now, big lie number 5. So, lie number 5 is that people who are successful are different than me. Now, pardon my bluntness on this one, but I'm just going to call it the way I see it. And this is actually a self serving excuse. The only difference between you and someone who is successfully doing what they like to do is that they took a chance and did it. It's easy to sit back and dream and never take action. We all have many reasons we tell ourselves not to follow our dreams, but imagining that someone else was successful because they had it easier or had some other advantage, it's not valid and it's not relevant. The straight dope on this is that someone else's success has nothing to do with you. Jake, you can advance the slide. It has nothing to do with you and vice versa. People who are successful put their foot on the path and they started walking in the direction of their goal. They figured it out step by step, and you can too. Don't compare yourself to others. There's another saying, which is comparison is the thief of joy. Your journey is your journey and no one else's. Whatever it is that you want to do, just get started. Okay, so the truth about these 5 big lies. These lies can seem like ferocious tigers standing between you and your dreams. Maybe you're not pursuing your goals because they seem threatening. But when you have the courage to look more closely, you'll see that those paper tigers can be conquered by a breath or a flick of the finger. Remember, you're in control of how big of a risk that you take. Lots of small steps can often get you to your destination faster than a single giant leap. Explore the block that keeps you from even taking the smallest step. If you want to do something but feel you're not ready, you may need to start walking on the path towards your goal to start to see your options. Very few decisions are do or die. Through mistakes, we learn the most, and we gain the most valuable insights about what our true path is. Try to reframe mistakes as learning opportunities. Other people's judgment is more about them than it is about you, so don't let it hold you back. Judgment by others never feels good, but the more you recognize the truth, the less it will matter to you. You're responsible for yourself, not for other people's reactions to you and what you decide to do about your life. That's really up to you. So be free and start taking some action towards success and happiness. And then people who are successful aren't magical or preordained. They had an idea of what they wanted and they took action to bring that idea to life. You have the same power. Be brave and start believing in yourself. The more you use your power, the stronger it gets, and the more you'll believe in yourself and reach the goals that you set for yourself. So next time you see something that you really want to do and you're second guessing yourself, stop to see if one of these 5 big lies is the culprit. Use the tricks that I shared with you today to shine the light of truth on what's really going on and move bravely to seize what you really want to do with your life. So thanks for listening. And if you like the tips that I shared here today, they came from my book, Winning the Game of Work. And I have lots more tips and tricks for being successful at work and in the rest of your life in Winning the Game of Work. It's available on Amazon and at barnesandnoble.com. And then if you want to reach me, you can go to my website at terrybmcdougall.com. I've got a blog, I've got excerpts from my book, lots of information about my coaching practice. I also have a podcast, which is called Marketing Mambo, and you can find that on any of the podcast platforms or at its website, marketingmambo.net. And I'm also very active on LinkedIn, so if you'd like to get LinkedIn with me, please reach out. My handle is Terry B. McDougall. So thanks for listening, and I hope you get some value out of the how to overcome the 5 big lies.
All right. Awesome job, Terry. I hope you guys were taking notes during that presentation. You can always go back and watch. And just an amazing, amazing job. Just, it's so true that we always give ourselves excuses. And I love what she said about you need to support yourself just like you support your friends and support your family. Make sure you're caring about yourself and supporting yourself and your goals. And just awesome presentation. So check out her book, check out her website, go find her on LinkedIn or Facebook and connect with her. And again, just like me with my email, those are directly reaching her. So you can talk to her directly and sign up for a one-on-one consultation if you want to talk to her as an executive coach. There's so many different ways that you can learn from Terry. So thank you again. All right. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you got some value out of that. I hope you enjoyed it. Know that this was a free live conference for people, and putting up this video took some time as well, redeveloping this, revamping it. And if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, and know that wherever you're watching this, if you share it, whether it's on LinkedIn or whether you're watching it on YouTube and you share it somewhere else, or if you're watching it on Facebook, please, please, please like the video, share the video, and so we can reach more people, giving them value. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and take care.